So, how you guys? How's everybody doing? Um, believe it or not, it's 1:38 a.m. here, and good morning, uh, Dozy. I um, I actually started. I actually decided to do this broadcast. I was about going to bed, and I just saw a comment from my friend. Actually, my interaction with you, Dozy, that's what brought this about. And I just knew I had to do this flash broadcast because the situation in Nigeria, I don't think a lot of us understand what is going on. It continues to get a more it continues to just deep nosedive. Okay, the rate at which things are changing, the rate at which things are getting extremely um I'm looking for the word, getting out of hand. We don't understand. We don't get it. It's very, very scary. That's the most I can say right now. So I just don't want to talk about it alone. Like I said, it's past it's to 2 o'clock here, 2 a.m. I should be sleeping by now, but I just had to do this video, and I just want to make it an open mic. Anybody can chime in. If you ask for me to bring you on, I'll bring you on, and you can you can talk. I know the connection in Nigeria is terrible, so if you're able to do that, if you're not able to do that, I don't know how we're gonna do it. But it's about time something happens. It's about time. Um, the way this thing is going, the amount of killings, the way a whole generation is being just messed up. Like a whole generation.
The connection is not so bad from Nigeria.
It's okay.
What's up?
Um, I'm good. I'm good, my brother.
Hmm?
I had to come on because of you.
Yeah, I was watching. You're right. The situation is so bad in Nigeria. It's ridiculous. Um, I don't even know where to look again. Because the youth are actually suffering, and there seems to be no hope for them. I mean, nothing is being done for them. Education zero, opportunities zero. So when you look at this movement with the Yahoo and the Yahoo Plus, that is what they look at as the way out of where we are. So when you see that crime is now the way to go out, there's a problem. Can you hear me? No, let me go. Keep talking. I'll go to my laptop. I'll go to my desktop.
Okay. See, the situation is like it is so terrible. This is a country. This is a country that has so much potential. Looked forward to. Growing up, Nigeria used to be very beautiful. When I see all my friends coming on now, John Ihunweze, look at so many people that are Nigeria used to be something that we all looked forward to. You don't understand. This is a place where we played football on the streets. It's a place where we went to primary school and we sang beautiful songs marching in. This is a place you were in the boarding school with your friends. You went on holiday to your uncles and your aunties. You ran out in the street naked when it was raining. You did a whole lot of things. You went out with your friends into the bush and you were not scared. You were not afraid. But look at what Nigeria has become today. Today, everything is so twisted. You don't know what is real anymore. And I don't want anybody to come here and be telling me about politics this, politics that. It doesn't matter which side of the divide you are. You know deep in your heart that Nigeria is totally messed up. I don't care about patriotic. You can be patriotic all you want. You can choose to only concentrate on the good things. And you know me, we're doing a series where I'm featuring people who are excelling, people who are making Nigeria proud, but that doesn't cut it. Only a few of us, only a few people can get by in Nigeria. You know, even those who are getting by in Nigeria, you're sleeping with one eye open. People have what do they call them? These trucks in Nigeria, Hilux. People buy personal Hiluxes and they equip them with sirens all over the place. Motayo says the economy was stable then. Naira was very strong. Oh my goodness. Our Naira was 25 kobo. I remember that coin, that 25 kobo coin. They used to call it the dollar. I'm not talking about 25 Naira. I'm talking about 25 kobo. That's what it was. You see, the annoying thing now is that this thing just keeps happening. The way people are killed, the way crime is just openly endorsed, it is very, very scary. It is very, very, absolutely very scary. There's no hope for this country. There's no hope. There's no hope for this country called Nigeria. I don't care. I don't care except something happens. That thing that is going to happen is going to be something very, very terrible. I'm telling you. Very, 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 very terrible. Can you imagine? It's very scary now, and I'm not feeling happy. I was about to go to bed. Can you imagine? It's almost 2 a.m. here, and I can't sleep. I'm so damn worried. I am so worried. What worries me is the people who are in Nigeria who actually are hardworking, people who believe in their abilities, people who believe in this country, but they are there and they are suffering. My friends, my colleagues, people that I love, people who are hardworking, those are the ones that break my heart. I don't care about people who are gaining from maybe the government in power or from the abuse and the corruption that's in the system. I don't care about those people. They're going to meet their Waterloo one day. What goes around comes around. But the people that I feel very, very sad about are my mates that are back in Nigeria trying so hard to make it. They work so hard. During the time of my campaign, I would come back to my room. A lot of people didn't know this, but I would come back to my room and I would just close the door and lay on the bed crying. Crying. because I see graduates roaming the streets, begging for money. Right now, people beg for money in Nigeria. People beg for money. People beg for, you don't understand. People beg for money. And how dare you look at the situation and pretend that everything is okay? How dare you look at the situation because of your political affiliation, because of your position in government, you want to write trash online to defend the system. Of course, we know we should talk good about our country. We know we should be hopeful. We should promote our country. But I'm telling you, the situation is bad now. It is bad. People just beg for money. That is so degrading. That is so humiliating. Ladies, girls are even offering their bodies, but nobody's even. Can you imagine a situation where a lady is actually offering their body just to be able to eat? And you think I'm making this up? I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Young girls are willing to sleep with anybody just to get money for a meal. Can you imagine? And we go about like nothing is happening. That's the one that breaks my heart. Do you know the situation? We don't get it. I wish I could really explain what I'm trying to say. We are sitting on a time bomb. Don't believe anybody that is telling you that, oh, the situation is changing in Nigeria. It is not changing. It is not. I don't even want to talk about the government in power or the president. That one is just, I don't care what anybody thinks. That's just a hopeless situation. Do you know what it takes for you to sometimes, I had to go on a vacation with my family to just clear my head and just relax, just to forget about everything. But no matter how you try, I'm telling you, unless you're not a human being, no matter how you try, sometimes you just want to eat a good meal and suddenly you remember people who are suffering in Nigeria and that whole meal just tastes like cotton in your mouth. I'm telling you, you're about to have a good dinner, you're about to eat, and you just pick up a piece of chicken and you just remember that somebody in Nigeria cannot afford that. Or that somebody is willing. People killed people during election and cut off their head for 30,000 naira. 30,000 naira is not up to $100. The other day on the Workers' Day anniversary, I was analyzing how much a worker makes in Nigeria, and the confusion there is that a few people who can, because that's where you meet them. You meet them online. You meet them on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. But you see, because you can afford to buy data, because you have light to charge your phone, because you can afford to go online and just browse and sit and attack people who you think are criticizing the government. I don't blame you. You don't realize that you represent just a tiny percentage. You represent a very tiny percentage. The other, you're like 8%. The other 98% of Nigerians, they cannot afford data. They don't have light as we speak. They're in darkness. They don't have food. Remember people used to buy garri, rice, beans in bags. People don't buy that anymore. People just go to the market and buy waterproof small nylon Not big one or small nylon. You still buy garri, small garri. Remember those days? Those days, we used to hear people who will buy milk. You buy milk and you open the two sides, you pour a peak milk, then you tear the paper, you use saliva, or you use the milk to seal it. And we used to yap those people, oh, you keep the milk because you don't have fridge, then you put it in a cup with water so it preserves it. I'm telling you now, people can't even afford the milk anymore. It's not even like yapping the person that the person can't even afford the milk anymore. If you open the milk, there's no fridge to even put the milk because there is no light. It is terrible. It is terrible. I'm telling you, it is very, very, very terrible. And something has to happen. So, see, I really want us to get very angry. And see, politics is over. Whether you are to, hey, my brother, how are you? Desto.
Good morning, sir.
Um, where are you coming from? Dozy, hold on one second. Dozy, just send me a request. Send a request, Dozy, and I'll bring you on. Go ahead, Desto. Where are you from? I can't see your face. I can't see your face.
Asia. It's because I'm close to my desktop.
Okay,
I'm calling from
you're
Asia.
coming from Asia, my brother. How you see the situation, man? This thing they make me want to cry. I don't.
Oh, yeah. Situation of here,
Situation of Nigeria.
of Nigeria.
Yeah,
My brother, you have did your best. We always say that government is a cause of our problem in Nigeria. Yes, they are part of it. But I come to realize after the election that we the youth, 85% of the problem we are passing through in Nigeria today, we are the cause of it by ourselves. Your fellow youth, when you are saying the right thing, your fellow youth will come here online to come and fight you, to come and say rubbish. On election day, many of them was at home. Many of them take 10,000 and sell away their future. They have got to the next level. They have got to the next level that they voted for. Our youth of these days, they hate the truth, especially the young couple of these days. They hate the truth. Even inside their family, they hate the truth. They stand with all those old fool. Look at what this man in River State, Amateur, wherever, what he said in 2015. He said, when you are stealing from someone, the person that is stealing from you is not complaining, is not doing anything about it. The thief will continue stealing until the owner of the property wake up and say, this thing belongs to me, from him. This is Nigeria. What is going on today is the fault of the citizen. If the, let me say for one thing, they say let us continue a peaceful protest in this country. Even though they are shooting guns, they are killing us. Until further notice, until something is done, we are not going to stop. Let us fight. Let us use the protest to fight for second freedom. And everybody stand together with one mind and one body and one soul. For like a whole week, no movement in the country. No flight is coming in. Buhari will run away from that seat. All those old fools, they will run away, they will surrender. But nobody wants it. Even though it rise up, some people, the leaders of the protest, will go, some of them will go and take bribe from the back. This is Nigeria. We youth, we are the problem. Okay, just look at the minimum wage. How much is the minimum wage? 30,000 naira. It's not up to $100. Around $70 also. But those are doing the job. They fold their hands. Sometimes the 10,000 they will not even pay. They fold their hands. They did not say anything. Is it I that's not working for the government? None of my family is getting any income from the federal government of India, of Nigeria. will come and be dying for it. If those that are working for them for their hand, then who am I to not be feeling headache for them?
Let me say something, my brother. You see, it's
They fold their hands because they are okay with it. They are okay with the evil that is going on in the country today.
no, I don't. Let me say something. I don't think so. You see, as much as we are angry and we are saying that the youth are not doing what they are supposed to be doing, the primary responsibility of the government is to guarantee the security of its citizens. And when you say guarantee security, it's not just security of, from armed robbers and those, even food, job security, food security, health security.
Yeah.
Now, it is the duty of the government to create an enabling environment, an environment that makes it easy for you to succeed.
Secured for the citizens.
Exactly. You see, when the government does not prioritize the well-being of its citizens, that is the result of what you are seeing right now. You see these youths that we are blaming, these people are like 20, 25 years old or 30 years or 35 or so. Right from when they grew up, when they started growing up, these things started spoiling. It's been going bad and bad. These people you're talking about now, for them to enter secondary school, they had to buy the exam sheet. Things had already spoiled. WAEC had collapsed. JAM had collapsed. So these people, a lot of them bought their exam. The school system had collapsed so much that private schools are all over the place. Private schools that nobody is monitoring them. So from secondary school, these people too, they had to pay money to enter and do JAM.
Daddy,
Yes.
is their fault.
How?
1 minute, open my door for someone.
So okay.
Whatever they are passing
Yeah.
through, whatever they are passing through is their fault. I'm a married teacher as well, even though I'm not married. There was something we were doing in church. I told them that not after you got married, before you have the wisdom of marriage or whatever. A guy said, "What did I know that I will teach you about marriage? I'm not even married yet." I told him, "Come, listen to me. I was 11 years old when I lost my dad, and my mom was just 36. He never married again. At the age of almost 15, I dropped out of school and waited to this very day. But I've gathered in the streets for the past 12 to 13 years. Now, some people that have married don't even have it. I brought my family up. There is some things that my mom will do sometimes. I will tell mom, this thing is not going to work. Or sometimes you will say it's going to meet. I will say that meeting place is a place of gossip, this and this. You are not going there. If you go there from there, you can go back to your father's house. And she will stop it. There are corrections like this. But these days, the younger generation of these days, when you correct any of them, they don't want to take any advice. They think they know it all. Our guess what they can do today. When you talk about politics, all the young boys, they will tell you those things is not working anymore, whatever, what kind of nonsense is that, that is bullshit. All they can do is for them to come to social media and twerk. All of us, especially the youth, we contribute to the problem of Nigeria that is going on. Okay, let's say a school, for instance, that are taking a bribe or whatever to buy all the shit just for them to pass their exam. So the way social media is today, if they say the principal or the provider or wherever that we are not paying for this, they will call of the attention of the police, of the society, of anybody before they shut for a whole day in that school. Like during the time of Omoy election, one or two persons will answer them and say this is not right. They will get their way in through the legal way, not the illegal way.
Okay.
But they relax and feel that everything that they are doing is comfortable in the country.
Okay.
Nobody wants
Let me let me
any
let
advice.
me read something. Let me read something. Chikezi Dozie, I'm hoping you'll be able to come back online, but Dozie says we all know what is wrong with Nigeria, and I think we need to focus on what the solution is. Okay? The solution is us. We need to start holding our leaders accountable to the people rather than treating them as if they are demigods. That is what we should do. We should stop treating our leaders like they are, godfathers, people that are untouchable. If we hold them accountable, then we will we will be able to get some good out of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. How can we hold those people accountable? Not by gun, not by fight, or by any other thing. Is by protest. To start a protest that have no date of end until further notice, and make sure that protest no property is destroyed, just to make sure the road is blocked and no movement in the city and no movement in the
Okay,
country.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It's easy. See, my brother, you are not in Nigeria now. You are outside the country. Where you are now, there's light. There's light, Abi.
Yeah, 24
Good.
7.
You've had food is not a problem.
Even to the poorest human being, they are even fresher than me in the street.
Beautiful. Now, you see, in Nigeria, when you're telling somebody to go and do protests, my brother, this person, if they are working, they have to leave their work. This person does not have food in his house. This person does not have money. There is nobody to. Do you know that even some protests, sometimes when you do protests, some people need to come out and.
Daddy, sorry to cut you short. All those people that are talking about they don't have food, they have to work, whatever, they go to church and worship man with their forehead bent and with empty stomach. They are praying for Messiah. And the Messiah, their freedom is in their hands.
So you mean?
Their freedom is in their
So you
hands.
mean that it doesn't matter whether they've eaten or they have not eaten, they should just go out in the street and protest.
Oh, is very close to you. Ask him during the time that he was a student union or whatever of the leaders. All those days that he shouted solidarity forever in 90s. Did he eat? He come from the river after fishing. Maybe there's no money that or whatever. He just eat a little food. He will start shouting in the street of Lagos that he used to bring democracy into the land of into Nigeria that we are today, and they turned the democracy into something else. Our youth today, they are busy sleeping in the church, praying for miracles, use that miracle to happen. They are used churches to turn the Nigeria church is something like a legal scam in Nigeria today. Offering money is for God. Tithe money is for God. They can use offering money or tithe money to build a nation.
So bottom line is you are saying that it is our youth that are the problem. They are the problem. They should come out and
Yeah.
protest.
But in America today,
Mm.
let's say Donald Trump come out today, we say this, and something is not done. Now, in the next 24 hours, the whole America will come out. There will be no movement. All the whole TV everywhere will feed up. During the time of Donald Trump election and critic election or whatever, critics have to come out and beg the citizen they should stop, everything will be okay and everything. Before they stop, the protest was going on for more than 24 to 47, 48 hours.
Okay, let me
And
say
Trump is not
something.
going
Let
to.
me say something. Will you?
Okay, look at
Mm.
Germany. Last year, May 13 or 12 or wherever, the government just wake up and increase the fuel price. What did they do? Over 1 million people. Their protest is to leave their car in the main road and they walk home. Not up to 24 hours. The fuel price, what? Come down to the normal price. These are countries that youth knows their rights. Those are the countries that youth don't fight against themselves. Those are the country that youth, they have culture. They don't bring their culture into the government. Today, our problem in that country is the youth and culture. They are fighting tribal war. Igbo we say Yoruba is this, Yoruba we say Hausa is this, Benin we say this is this. This is those are something that sometimes when I think is very irritating and so very disgusting.
All right. Fine.
You don't
That's
bring
to
religion into government, you don't bring tribe into government, you don't bring culture into government.
Thank you so much. That's to I'm gonna go off on you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you for all your support. And then I hope people who are listening, especially the youth, will hear what you have said. Thank you so much, Desto. Now, please, anybody can request to be added, and you come and air your views. This situation is very terrible in our country. Say we already know what the problem is. What we're talking about is the solution. So let's look at the solution now. Kelvin Sam Garba says, I think a lot of protests have gone round in Nigeria, just that we have the government in Africa who does not listen to their citizens. So what is the solution? What is the solution? I think we all know that people are suffering in Nigeria, but how can we bring this to an end? That's what I want to hear now. You can send a text. You can you can ask to be added on this broadcast, and we can take it from there. You can also actually, well, we can't do WhatsApp right now, but you can just go ahead and ask for me to bring you on, and I'll bring you on. Okay. Anybody here who would like to come on, I'll bring them on. Today is an open mic. Today is an open mic, and anybody can be brought on. Cordera and say, I don't know if you would want to come on. I don't know if you want to come on. Cordera, I'm adding you right now. Today is open mic. I had to do this impromptu broadcast because of my state of mind. The situation in Nigeria is terrible. It is terrible. It is terrible. We cannot stop saying how terrible it is. And this is not based on any political sentiment. This is purely a reflection of the situation in Nigeria. It is very, very, very bad. If you think it is not bad, take the microphone and tell us why you think it is not bad. That would be it'd be interesting to hear someone give us an analysis of why they think the situation in Nigeria is not bad. If you think things are okay, you think people have jobs, you think there's light, you think there's water, you think there's adequate health care, just step up the microphone and say what you want to say. Sam Ola says the first step is the mindset of rulership has to be jettisoned and replaced with the ideology of leadership. This this is where we own accountability. Okay, when you're saying leadership recognize that we're a democracy, that is you still identifying the problem. Leadership does not, in my opinion, recognize this as a democracy. You can shout from now till tomorrow, nobody listens to you. The things that happen in Nigeria are not based on whatever the legislature decides. Even when the legislature seems to be in disagreement with the executive will just use the military and the police and SSS to go and arrest them, shut them down, harass them. When the judiciary does not dance to the tune of the executive, the president will go and uh, arrest the judges and do all kinds of things to them. That is the situation we have in Nigeria. And that is very, very, very terrible. So I just want us to know that it is about solution, because we don't even know what else to do. I don't know what else we should do. Unless the one I know, it's not that I don't know, but it is how to do it. I think we need a revolution. Hey, Kodera, how are you, my brother?
I know. How you
Ndị
doing, my
Nana?
brother? Morning. How's
Fine.
everything
Ndị
going?
Nana?
Okay. Fine, who did do? I was I joined the conversation and I was listening and I've been listening and
Yeah.
it's very interesting. Um, Let me be
Yes.
very sincere. I believe that we're putting the cart before
Okay.
the horse in
Okay.
three instances. First instance, we must understand that we're people and
Okay.
we're a nation and we have to
Okay.
coexist. That's the first instance. It doesn't matter what policy you bring, it doesn't matter what how effective you are, as long as we do not have a connection as one nation mentally, nothing is going to work. So the first issue is the sense of belonging. And this is not just between religion, tradition, ethnicity, but also class, which is very important. Also, class. There are people in certain classes in this country that don't believe that they're part of this country because they believe that nobody is looking out for them.
Okay. Cholera, okay, your connection is frozen now, but I hear you, I really hear you, the points that you have made. Very, very interesting point. As soon as Cholera's connection comes back, I will, but he has identified that one of the issues is the fact that we need to understand the need, that we need to coexist. That is what he has said. Korea said we need to understand that we have to coexist as one. Okay? We have to mentally understand that we are one. Okay, that if we do not have that mentality that we are one, we cannot achieve anything. But I have a problem with that. The problem I have is it's still about leadership. We know that in Nigeria we are more divided. There's a more sense of division right now than it did exist years before. We have been clearly I don't know, my brother. Somebody says no, they're even disconnecting my ability to bring people in. So we know these things happen, but it's okay. What I'm doing. So if the government realizes that people don't have that that sense of unity, they are not that sense of patriotism, it is for them to come out with a program that will bring back love for nation in the people. It is still you that has the ability to do that. It's just like in a family. Everybody is identifying that, oh my goodness, we are all hungry, we're all hungry, we're all hungry. And somebody says, the main problem is this house is that people are hungry. It is a good mother who goes quickly and makes food. And she knows, she has the instinct to solve the problem. She makes the food, everybody eats and happy, and things continue. But if you have a leader, Mr. Obioha, you're on, but I guess there is darkness where you are. If you have access to any light at all, we'll be able to see you. But you can go ahead and make your contribution, please, while we hope to see your face. Make sure your phone is not in the cover and your camera is being covered also. Sometimes it happens. But you're connected, Olisebuka Damian Obioha. You're
Hello?
connected, but we can't see you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Obioha, but I can't see you.
Oh, I'm trying to get this. Let me see what's wrong.
Do you
Oh,
have your phone
my
paused?
Facebook. The thing is asking me for. It's asking. I'm trying to get permission to allow camera
Yes,
and
go
allow.
ahead.
Oh,
Please.
I reset this phone. I reset this phone.
Oh,
Let me
so
try to disconnect and then try taking a picture or taking a video with the camera, and then let me see if I'll the permission dialog box will come up, and then
okay,
they'll try
Obioha.
bringing me back in like 2-3 minutes.
Okay, please
Let me
do
see.
that. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay.
So yeah. So guys, what we're saying is let's get Obioha off. He'll reset his phone and he'll come back. It is, and that's why you vote people into power. When you want, I have analyzed the situation in the country and I have the magic wand. I know how to bring everybody back. We know that Nigeria is already divided on tribal lines, on religious lines, on social and ethnic lines. So many lines were divided on, but the strongest of that is on religious and ethnic lines. So when you're coming to lead a people that are divided on those lines, wouldn't you have understudied them and wouldn't you have a solution? But the situation in Nigeria is that when people are now voted in, they start blaming us again. No, we already knew we had a problem. We already knew there was a problem before we asked you to come in, before we asked people to come and take the mantle of leadership. They said, who the cat fits, who the hat fits, let them wear it, or the cap, whatever. But if it does not fit you, why bother to come and be at the helm of our affairs? Because that position is a very, 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 very delicate position. If you don't handle it well, all of us suffer. So it's not a joking matter. Okay? I'm going to try to bring Codera back again. Hopefully, we can have him back on because he was saying some interesting things. But I also have something to say about that when he finishes making his points.
Okay.
Codera, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you for coming back.
Yes, I had to move to some part of the house that I felt network was better. I kept trying to connect.
Go ahead.
Yes. So what I was saying is, we've been putting the cart before the horse.
Okay.
We cannot go further unless we agree to go further together.
You see, you made that point. Sorry, Codera, you made that point before. And before you go forward, I will say this. Before you go forward, you see, we know, everybody in Nigeria knows that we are more divided now than before. But the point is this. The reason why somebody comes into a position of leadership is because they know these things. And if you don't have the ability to come and bring us together, then why are you there?
Yes. Well, because they're using that divide to their advantage.
Okay.
They're using the divide to their advantage. We as a people of this country can see there are people who love Nigeria.
I love Nigeria.
Like in your case, you have wept over this country, and so have I. But the problem is, until people have a sense of belonging, and the sense of belonging has not existed for so long that people are not getting involved in nation building. You cannot build a nation without voluntary sacrifice. So once you don't have people volunteering to sacrifice for that country to be built, you can never get it to fly.
Correct. Let me ask
It
you.
is
Let
impossible.
me ask you, what is the
Yes.
justification? What's the justification for any Nigerian to want to sacrifice for the country called Nigeria? Is it because they are getting good health? Is it because they are getting electricity? Is it because they are getting education? Tell me one reason why I should want to really sacrifice for the country called Nigeria. Give me one reason.
At the end of the day, it's because it's your country. That's the truth. It's the country we have that is ours. At the end of the day, no matter what happens, it's like a home where you're betrayed. At the end of the day, no matter where you go, no matter how much you have, it still remains home.
So what should we do?
So
what should we do?
Okay, there are two ways to deal with it. There is the present, which we're dealing with, which I know you leaving Canada to come and do stuff back home, and also trying to reach out to the youth and reaching out to people. That's what we can do presently. The second thing we need to do is we need to build an education system for a particular cream of people that are going to be mentored to rule this country in the next 100 years.
Who will build it?
This generation, yes, this generation as it is. My other brother that called in earlier was talking about people buying WAEC. This generation is gone. We have one state in Nigeria, Kano, right now, that is consuming 2 million bottles of codeine daily, and it's on the increase. So when you say 2 million bottles of codeine, which is drug abuse, that means that they're taking probably about 40 trailers of weed daily. One state. So it means that Nigeria has over 15 million, if not 20 million codeine users nationwide. So we're talking of, and these people taking the codeine predominantly are not in our generation. They're the generation behind us. So there is a total decay. So we have to find a way to mentor the generation behind us.
So
at this point,
the problem is, we're back to identifying the problem. How do we find? That's that way. It's that way that we're looking for.
How do we fight?
No, not fight. You say we need to find a way. It is that. How do we?
Yes, education.
How?
Education.
How?
You have to.
Who will go and educate
You can't
them?
wait for the government.
How?
You have to identify persons and places, which is, if it's institutions that you can use to start mentoring, like an incubation arrangement. The government is overwhelmed. The government does not have the intellectual capacity to even look into the next year. The government doesn't even know where they're going to get money for salaries for next month if oil money dries up. So there is no plan on ground. And this is because they don't have the mental capacity for good governance.
Exactly.
There is no vision on the table.
This is what you're saying is driving me crazy. Like, so why are they there? Why are they there?
No, you see, they're there so that they can get their health insurance.
So why are we leaving them there?
That's what it is.
Why are we?
No, see, anybody in government that is there, it just doesn't want. He wants to be able to have his peak milk and the generator that will power the fridge. That's just the truth.
God.
Yes, I'm being very straight with you. They're all there so that they can feed their ego, because predominantly they don't have the intellectual capacity to deliver the obligation of good governance.
You know what I'm angry. See, what I'm angry about and what I'm frustrated about and what finally I am sad about is that, look at you, brother. Look at me. Look at the beautiful, you know where we are coming from. I know you very well. You know me very well.
Yeah.
You know the kind of life that we were looking forward to, and you right before our eyes, it's just destroyed.
Yes.
And we are
Mm.
these people who are destroying this thing are people, they're just sitting there and they're messing up this our beautiful country. They're messing up our generation. The people behind us, like you said, their own is even gone. We're talking about generations that are even coming later.
Yes.
So we need to sack these people. Like see, until something happens, and it has to happen sooner than later. And I'm telling you,
our dreams as kids, our dreams for the new Nigeria has been altered predominantly by individual success and personal aspirations. So we have left caricatures to run the country, to run the political sphere, to run governance. Many of us who are involved in technology, engineering, involved in professional aspects, we have driven our professional aspirations to the point that we've forgotten that we have the obligation of service to the greater population. So in the drive of trying to establish our dreams, we have let go of the governance. So that's the reason why you notice that, yes, you have people on the streets that have the solutions for the country, but they're not in the right places. They're not, in fact, where they are. Like right now, if you actually have solutions, like you're in an office, you now become a threat to that office. Once you have solutions, they're going to post you to a place you're ineffective because they know that you are going to bring solutions and make them irrelevant. In our system today, let me be very sincere, I don't know how people do. A number of people are even in our systems with fake certificates. We have probably like, I don't want to give a percentage, but I think top of my head, 30% of government officials, up to even directors. And our employment structure into government right now, I'm telling you that in the last 4-6 years, we've had a whole troop add to government. The government right now, the government structure is overweight, it's overtasked. You have so many people, and if you break it down to individuals, they don't contribute anything to the office to which they are assigned. They have no dream, they have no flair, they have no passion, and they have no capacity for that designation.
Talking about okay, go ahead, finish up.
Yeah, so what we're talking about now is not like a small aspiration, like you're saying, oh, let's get Nigeria up and running. No, you're talking of a total overhaul. We're talking of what you're talking about is changing the mindset of probably over 100 million people. And that doesn't just happen just like that. You have to be ready. And our generation are more or less cowards.
Okay.
Yes. Our generation are cowards.
That's what I was coming to right now. I'm frustrated with my mates who are in school. And I'm going to say something that people don't. I was not in the fraternity in school, but I know a lot of my friends, and because of the way because of my lifestyle and the things I did, everybody thought, oh my goodness, this guy must be in one serious fraternity that is like big. I was like larger than life kind of person, but I wasn't in it. But I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
People were in Buccaneer, people were pirates, people were black axe, people were black beret, people were all of. Where are those people now?
Where are they?
Where are they?
Most
where
of them. Yes, but here it is. Most of them are doing the framework, right, for the corruption procedure that is being undertaken.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because all the dumb leaders need smart people to move billions out of the country.
Okay.
So they're using that framework And these guys are like, see, I don't believe I can change the system. So I'm just going to see how I can get what I can get. And God help me and God help the country. Where I can argument, I will argument.
So these people are
That's
so
the
these people
mindset.
they are in the system, but they are the
They're
ones
in
who
the
are
system.
aiding this thing. And
Yes,
ah,
yes, they're in the
you
system.
see now.
Then there are the ones that they feel that, see, this thing will bring decay to the country. So even though I have the capacity and I don't want to get involved, and I think I want to have an honorable life, I'm just going to stay clear. So yes, they're in a place where they can make a difference, but they know that that difference is going to cost them. It's going to cost them because this is the reality. Nigerians don't appreciate sacrifice. So most people who have the capacity to make that sacrifice know that when the sacrifice is made, when they break their back to create the bridge for which Nigeria will cross to a better day, they will be left there with a broken back. And it happens every day. We see all our heroes who won championships. We see all our great people. We see all our actors who brought so much joy and so much inspiration to our kids just dying on the streets. Nobody gives a damn. So sacrifice is not rewarded. This is reality. You were a palm sec. You made sure everybody was paid. You made sure all contractors were paid. You made sure all jobs were executed. You didn't take kickbacks. When you leave the civil service, you have nothing to fall back. You don't even get your pension for 6 years. And your children, which ought to benefit from your service to country, have become destitute. So, and then when you go back to that office as the palm sec to beg the people who were coming into service when you were leaving, who are now directors, and they're looking at you and they're like, my life cannot end up like this man. I'm obligated to be corrupt because I will not go down like this. I'll tell you a story. I worked for USAID and in partnership with World Bank, and we're in the UBE building in Zone 4. That was back about 10 years ago. Outside my window was the pensions board. If you know, in Zone 4,
Yeah.
the pensions board where they have Zenith Bank. Yes, right next to, I think, neighborhood center. We had over 3,000 men sleeping in the rain. 3,000. Over 3,000 people who fought the Civil War, who fought for Nigeria, sleeping in the rain. They were there with their credentials. They fought for the unity of Nigeria, and they sleep in the rain. And the officials in the pension office come, drive in, drive out, and they don't even talk to them. It got so bad that at that moment in time, they had to move the pension office from Zone 4 because it was just an eyesore. These people will be in the rain. They would be there in the rain. These are people that fought. No food, no care, nothing. They will be there begging, washing windscreens I wept.
Can I tell you something? Do you know that while these guys were there doing all that, the fraud that was discovered in the pension scheme shows that there were a lot of ghost workers that these guys were paying. They knew they were paying more people than those people that you saw in the rain.
Yes. So, and then the people who were in the pension, who were eating the money, are still the people who the government is bringing back. Now, they're the ones they're bringing back. So, how do you reconcile this? How do you reconcile this? How do you reconcile your sacrifice? And until because right now it's almost like if you make a sacrifice in Nigeria, you're making a sacrifice to die, and probably your generation to be finished. We have the problem with corruption is not corruption in itself. The problem with corruption is the system is making corruption justifiable. So if you're not somebody who has proper training, if you're not someone who says, I'm going to be professional about this at all costs, I'm going to be professional, and I know that I'm going to earn and I'm going to do things that I want to do the way I want to do it so that I can uphold my honor as an individual and my professionalism as a professional. My brother, you are obligated to engage in corruption. That's on one side. On the other side, education. When people are under a mango tree in primary school and sit on a window in secondary school and end up sitting outside the lecture room in university and really don't get an education because they're reading a handout, one handout per course, one leaflet of probably 17 pages for a whole course in a whole semester, obviously the guy is going to come out with an empty head, considering that even in high school in the US, you have to read probably about 50 books in just. So when you calculate all of the knowledge they don't have the mental capacity to survive.
Cholera,
They have to steal.
Cholera, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to bring some other people.
Thank you
It's a
so much,
pleasure. I
David.
really
Yes,
enjoyed
please
you,
do.
and I hope that God will help us. Okay. So,
God will help
all
us.
right.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
bye-bye.
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
bye. Mm.
Guys, these are the kind of people that Nigeria has. People who are intelligent, people who are resourceful, people who make use of them. Do you know when Nigerians leave Nigeria and they travel abroad, they are the best everything. They come outside and they go and still they get a doctorate degree. They even when they go working in a factory, the lowest level of service in whatever country, they excel. You see their bosses, they don't want to lose them. Their bosses want to keep them back. That's the kind of country that we have. Beautiful people, and see how they are messing us up. See how they are turning us to the worst country in the world. And I don't want you to come and be telling me about political thing. If you think Nigeria is okay, if you think that all I'm saying is a lie, please pick up the mic and have your own say. I mean, request to be added, and I will add you. For those of you who want to come on, remember to turn your phone. Okay, don't keep your phone like this. If you have to, like, don't keep your phone like that if you want to come on. Okay, don't keep your phone like this. You need to turn your phone. All right, you need to come this way. If you turn your phone, then I can bring you on, but if you keep your phone vertical, the system won't let me bring you up. Okay, so please, Olisebuka Obiora says, please, who's the young man? He's really passionate and like-minded, far beyond far beyond his deep intelligence. I'm telling you, these are I from my primary school to secondary school to university in Nigeria, I know the kind of people I grew up with. I know how intelligent they are. People who can run this country effectively. People who have gone on to become leaders, establish companies all around the world. I'm telling you. But Nigeria does not want to use them. I'm telling you, Nigeria does not. It is pathetic. We are headed for a very, 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 very bad place. Call me a prophet of doom. I agree with you. But where we are headed is not a good place. And we want to hear solutions. What are we going to do? What do you think is the solution? Ejugu Omaku, I don't know if you want to come on. I'm just on the spot. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm just gonna try to bring you. Obioha, your battery died. I wish you could broadcast from Windows PC. You know, yeah, you can go on Windows. You can just go on Windows, sign into your Facebook, and try, click on the request and I'll be able to add you. I think you can do that as long as your camera is working. I think you can connect through your PC. Let me see others who I can bring on. Not many people, their connections are not letting me bring them in. But I think it's solution that we want right now. Everybody knows it is terribly bad in Nigeria. I don't know about you, but I know from everybody, big o, small o, everybody's complaining. Everybody is complaining. Um, uh, Obioha, there's no request button. You need to check or log out and log in again. I see you come on, but there is no add button for me to add you. If you're on your phone, just turn your phone horizontally. Don't keep it vertical. Um, I'm hoping you'll be able to come on. But guys, like I said, so far so good. I'm so happy with the people who have come on and spoken to us because I just wanted, like I said, it was impromptu. I was about to go to bed, but it hit me, the situation in Nigeria, and I just responded to a post that a friend of, sorry, my phone fell down. I responded to a post that a friend of mine put up, and just by the time we talked back and forth, I felt I needed to do this broadcast. And you see what has come out of it. It's always good when you're prompted in your spirit to do something that you respond and you do it. I've been blessed. I started this broadcast very sad, very moody, and but hearing people talk, it gives me just a blink of hope, not in the country, but in the fact that there are people who are still able to start this revolution. There are people who are standing by with their zeal, with their sense of sacrifice, with their sense of patriotism. They are willing to take on this fight. I know it's coming. I know that revolution is coming. It's already too late. It is coming. There's no way you can stop it. Not going the way we are going. And I know that from the leadership, right from the leadership to the bottom, people, there is no way, there is no action plan for rescuing this nation. Nobody seems to know what to do from the people who are in leadership. So we need to shut down and start all over again. I don't know how that's going to happen. I have a faint idea. I know it's going to be a revolution, no matter what kind of revolution, but surely I can assure you that a revolution is coming to Nigeria. Quote me, say, Chidi, why are you saying this? I don't. Whether it's peaceful, although I've not done any revolution that was peaceful, but it could be the first time, but it could be, I don't know, but for sure, a revolution is coming. Guys, I'm going to have to stop here, and I will continue this conversation another time. I have a very busy day tomorrow. It's 3 o'clock, almost just 15 minutes to 3, and I'm going to have to wake up almost 5 a.m. to start my day tomorrow, because I have a couple of things to do. So, guys, I'd like to thank all of you who came on board and who helped to make this discussion interesting. Dozy, thank you so much. We're going to have to do an interview of you so we can get a chance to talk about all of these things. And for all of those of you who wanted to connect and you couldn't connect, my apologies. And it's just the situation in Nigeria. Let me just read what Ubioha says. It says, please let me make my contribution in this video before I can get in. I have this to say. Oh, sorry. I have this to say very importantly. So for those of us outside, okay, the chances of bringing all our people out of the mess is very low. For those inside, your chance of escape is very low. It's very low. Don't forget that. So we are in a messy, no hope situation. That's what you're trying to say. My brother, you couldn't have said it any better, but the problem is, what is the solution? What are we going to do? I wish I had you connected so that you can make this contribution, but we're going to do this open mic another time, like I said. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm from Toronto here. This is Chidi from Worship Media signing out. Thank you once more.